What's up, you guys? It's Low Beauty Demon, and I am back today to talk about more stuff happening on the internet specifically. Today, I did actually take my camera zoom out a little bit to, I don't know, I feel like I use my hands a lot and like nobody sees any of that, and I feel kind of weird for then like using my hands. So instead of not using my hands while I talk, I just decided instead to let you see my hands. It made more sense in my head. Also, my mic, boop boop, is making an appearance. Anyway, all that goofiness aside and everything, we're gonna be talking about a YouTuber named Anna Campbell. If you don't know who Anna Campbell is, don't worry, I'll fill you in. But before we get into everything, there's a few things I want to say. First, everything in this video I'm gonna be saying is alleged. These are not facts. This is just my opinion based on what I'm seeing on the internet. Like I said, none of this is fact. Please do not send anybody any negativity, any hate, anything based on what I am saying in these videos. If you have some sort of grievance, leave it in the comments down below. That's what they're there for. Also, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And then the last little disclaimer intro thing before we get into this is there's going to be a lot of trigger warnings of words that I'm going to be putting on the screen. I also want to be very mindful of my language because a lot of these topics that we're going to be talking about are not things that are considered suitable for YouTube monetization, and I definitely want to be taking a portion of this money and donating it to a specific GoFundMe that I will be linking down below, and I will be talking about that as well too. So we're going to be talking about Anna Campbell today. And if you're like me a couple weeks ago, you might be like, who is Anna Campbell? And I was in that same boat. I did not know who Anna Campbell was. And all of a sudden this barrage of videos started being pushed to me by YouTube in my recommended page, because you know YouTube be shady. It's like whenever there's some kind of situation, YouTube finds like any kind of video and pushes that out. So I didn't know who she was. At the time, I was watching the Gabby Hanna series and I was doing my videos about that, and that required a lot of focus, but I knew I wanted to go back and see what all this stuff about Anna Campbell was. And the creators that were getting pushed to me was 261. They had been making several videos where they'd actually been talking to people involved in the situation. And then Savannah Beneventi, I feel like there's probably actually a better way to say that. I'm gonna link their channels down below. Definitely go watch. And then Sloan made a video as well, and I was like, okay, something is going on. So I would take these videos and I would save them in a playlist, knowing that I wanted to go back and watch these later. And then a video by somebody named Taylor Lynn got pushed to me, and it was titled Anna Campbell is Dangerous. Now, I have learned that this was not the original title of this video. The original title was The End of Anna Campbell. This was a 2-hour and 40-minute video, and I was like, holy shit, okay, I do need to watch this, but I just didn't have the time set aside, so once again, threw it in the playlist. Then another video got recommended to me, and it was a video I had already seen before. And it was a video by Natalia Taylor, who is a creator that I really enjoy. I've been a subscriber to her for a couple years, actually. I started subscribing to her, I think, a little after she came back to YouTube from taking a break. And I've just always really enjoyed her content. I think she's just a really fun, cool girl. She's really beautiful. She has really interesting story times. So a video that had been being recommended to me was Natalia Taylor's video, I Was a Drug Addict. I'd already seen this video, but I decided to rewatch it because I have rewatched a couple of her videos. I just really enjoy her, actually. So then I was watching this and I realized, holy shit, she's talking about Anna Campbell in this. Is Anna Campbell her ex-girlfriend? Is the one that I'm seeing all these videos about her? So then I went and I started watching. I decided to watch Taylor Lynn's video first, and within the first like couple sections, she confirmed everything that I thought. It was, I'm not even kidding you guys, it was maybe literal minutes after I had finished watching Taylor's video that on Talia Taylor's channel, the video We Are Survivors was uploaded, and it was her, Taylor Lynn, and then another girl that I wasn't very familiar with named Kaylee Jade, who had been in like Taylor Lynn's video a little bit, and some Instagram lives of Anna and Kaylee had been being pushed to me. So I've been seeing a lot of those. So before we get full blown into the allegations against her, I want to kind of tell you who Anna Campbell is, because right now I've only talked about the people involved with her. Anna Campbell is a YouTuber with over 400,000 subscribers, and she got her start in the same place Natalia Taylor got her start, on Tana Mojo's collab channel Trash. She discusses LGBTQI plus topics, things about drug use, effects, previous experiences, things like that, and she also discusses mental health topics. Before she got got her start on YouTube, Anna actually went to college and got a bachelor's degree in psychology. And for a period of time worked at what she alluded to being a very prestigious mental hospital. I'm gonna let her give you a little bit of a rundown as to what her experience was like, because she actually made a whole video about working in the psych ward. So I'm just gonna put a few little tiny clips in here.
I am going to talk about exactly what it's like to work in a psych ward, the truth about working in psych ward. Let me give you a little bit of background about myself. I have a BS in psychology. Yes, I graduated from a 4-year university, and before I moved from Massachusetts to Ohio, where I currently live with my girlfriend Natalia, I was employed as a mental health specialist at a psychiatric hospital in Massachusetts on the psychotic disorder unit. So I worked mainly with patients, you know, suffering from schizophrenia, bipolar, and I even saw some personality disorders as well. Mainly psychosis. My unit in the whole hospital was dedicated to psychosis. Do what I do, and then you end up going to, you know, pre-med or nursing, something along those lines, and that was my exact plan. I was going to go to nursing school. I was employed, like I said, as a mental health specialist. What that means is you basically have a bunch of tasks you do throughout the day. I would run groups like educational movie or off-unit groups where you take the patients that are allowed to go off the unit to the gym or outside, helping the lab tech, bringing them to ECT, which is electroconvulsive therapy. We were the most hands-on with the patient. It pretty much went us, the nurses, the doctor. You get assigned patient, and it's your job to observe and determine how your patient is doing.
Over the past few years, Anna has exhibited a pattern of behavior. She is a serial monogamist, moving from relationship to relationship in a mere matter of days, or even having these relationships somewhat overlap. And within each of these relationships, she maintains extremely toxic behaviors. These behaviors are behaviors that I believe that really started with her first public relationship, which was the fellow creator Natalia Taylor. Her next girlfriend, Taylor Lynn, would actually say she talked about Natalia all the time, and it even did seem like to her that she was trying to emulate what happened in that relationship with her. While with Natalia Taylor, they would engage in a lot of use of drugs. I'm not sure what kind, because Natalia did not want to go into detail in an attempt to not glorify drug use, but would say that they would engage in day-long benders where they would stay up for long periods of time and just use until they had to crash, and then sleep, rinse, repeat. Basically the same thing over and over and over again. Now, Natalia Taylor does have a history of mental illness in her family. If you're a viewer of her channel, you know that she's been somewhat open about this to a certain extent. She shared a story about her biological father who kidnapped her when she was a child. Now, her biological father does have schizophrenia, and she knows that that is in her family, so she could potentially have a predisposition to this as well. A lot of times when people have predispositions to stuff like this, and then you throw drugs into the mix, it can become a recipe for disaster, which is unfortunately what happened with Natalia. She met her breaking point with Anna and drugs when they went to a music festival, actually located not terribly far from me, called Electric Forest. I know a lot of people that have gone there and worked there too, and yeah, it's no joke. It's a pretty crazy place. I'm not brave enough to go there, that's for sure. It was here that, unfortunately, due to some sort of drug that Natalia took, she went into a full psychosis. And this would be called a drug-induced psychosis. You can get psychosis from different mental disorders, things like that, but then it can also be brought on by drugs. She literally became broken and was not able to function in our reality anymore. And this drug-induced psychosis did not wear away for her, even after they left the festival. She was seeing horrific visual hallucinations, seeing herself in very scary ways all around her. What she was seeing would break anybody. At some point, Natalia was cognitive enough to know this relationship is not good for me and I need to end it. So she broke up with Anna, and Anna went home to Boston after a very big blow up fight. And at this point, there were a lot of fans invested with these two as a couple, or Natana as they were called. And they had a collaborative channel, so a lot of fans were pretty hurt and upset when they saw that Anna had posted a video that she was heartbroken and that the two of them had broken up. Meanwhile, knowing that Natalia was actually back at home in a full-blown drug-induced psychosis, Anna, like we saw earlier, says she has a bachelor's in psychology psychology. She was a mental health specialist. She worked in a hospital that specialized in psychosis. So she, more than anybody other than a physician or a nurse, as she says, should be able to identify when somebody might be falling into a psychosis. No, maybe you shouldn't be dosing somebody who might have a history of this sort of stuff. It's just really disgusting because she talks about mental health a lot on her channel. It just shows that Anna had a complete disregard for this person that she loved, and apparently she respected her in some way, which we're gonna cut the bullshit right now. Anna has no respect for Natalia whatsoever because once they broke up, she chose to start using Natalia's real name that she does not use on the internet, that she saves for her close family and significant others and her close personal real life friends. And Anna made an excuse in some video, I don't remember which one it was, that she just calls her by her real name because that's how she knew her and that's what she called her. As we've seen in other videos when they were together, she had no problem calling her Natalia or Nat. So it's blatantly disrespectful, and it almost comes across as she's trying to exert control over Natalia in some way. And in reality, Anna had already moved on. She already found her next girlfriend. In fact, she had been talking to her while she was dating Natalia. Her excuse with this girl was her and Natalia weren't exactly serious, but then it became pretty apparent to this girl that her and Natalia were serious. Now, this girl's name is Taylor Lynn Pendergraft, and oh my god, she was like a fucking goddess. You watch her Anna Campbell takedown video, I'm just like mesmerized by her beauty. So how did these two meet though? Like, if she's in a relationship with Natalia, how did Anna and Taylor meet? So Taylor was a 18-year-old high school student. Yes, she was in high school, so while she was technically of legal age, Anna was, I want to say she was 24, and this girl was in high school. So it's legal, but it's still skeevy as fuck. How exactly does a 24-year-old find a high school, an 18-year-old high schooler? You might wonder. It was easier than you think.
March 29th, 2017, I was just scrolling through Tumblr. I found this picture of this hot girl, put it in a group chat, and the only text I said with it was, find her.
Anna would send her photos of Natalia using drugs. She would discuss her sex life with Taylor, and she would also have explicit adult conversations with Taylor. Now, even though Taylor was 18, she's like, I was still a kid. I was in high school. It's definitely like very cringy. It's like a kid trying to be sexy because she was completely inexperienced in the kind of world that Anna Campbell lived in. And she said she really didn't even ever do drugs. At some point, she began to publicly flirt with Taylor, and that made Taylor think, well, okay, I can publicly flirt back with Anna. She did, and she got a nasty message from Natalia telling her to back off. So even early on, Anna would try to use girls to fight each other to get attention and adoration. Now, this is another pattern that she would continue through relationships. Now, the second time ever meeting Taylor, they went to Electric Forest, and this was when Anna gave Taylor drugs, and she had never really used drugs except for maybe that one time. And these were way harder drugs. I do not actually remember what it was, but the photos from that are not good. In these photos, Taylor is completely incapacitated. She is being carried around. She's being held in a hammock by Anna. There's vlog footage of this apparently on someone's channel, and nobody thought to take her to a hospital. Anna, who is a mental health specialist who worked in one of the most prestigious hospitals in the country, can't recognize when somebody needs serious medical attention. And for this to be the second time that she's meeting this girl who's still 18 and giving her something this intense is really difficult. She did also know that Taylor did struggle with several mental disorders. She has anxiety, depression. On several occasions, she tried to tell Taylor that her diagnoses were wrong or she didn't have those. And of course, Anna's the mental health professional, so she totally knows this. Taylor has an entire 2-hour and 40-minute video of their relationship. It is extremely toxic. I think I'm gonna do a breakdown video more in depth of each of the main girlfriends who have come forward stories, but I don't want to make this video too long because honestly it could be like a 2-hour video. So I'm just gonna kind of gloss over a lot of things, but I will be linking Taylor Lynn's video down below because it is something that needs to be seen. Another girl, Kaylee Jade, who is, I believe, Anna's most recent ex, she had a lot of back and forth with Taylor because Anna would continuously be pitting them against each other. Taylor and Anna broke up, so she got with Kaylee, who, when she met Kaylee, she was 26 and Kaylee was barely 18. I believe they met at a rave, and the first night they used so much that they both ended up in the ER and had to be hospitalized. This is day one of meeting this person. After being with Kaylee for several months, just like on end, and obviously making it feel like it was a real relationship, Anna just up and dumped Kaylee and went back to Taylor. In doing that, going back and forth between the two girls, which I think she did a couple times, it made them really dislike each other because also Anna is filling in their heads her one-sided narrative of what is going on between these two. But of course, they're never communicating, so they're not getting the full story. These two people think that they love Anna. Unfortunately, with both of these girls, I feel like she's just trying to emulate the toxic behavior that the foundation was set with Natalia. Now, some of these allegations that have come forth are very, very alarming. Like I said, I do want to dive more into each one of the girls' stories, but I wanted to really dive down into what all the allegations against her were. So we have these allegations. So I'm going to cover this one first. And this happened to Taylor Lynn. This happened to her days after she was by a man, and then she was hanging out with Anna. They got very, very drunk to the point where she was blackout drunk, and Anna even had stated in a few places, in Twitter and in person, and even to her the next day, you were way too drunk. So she knew that she was too drunk to consent. Well, that is. And then we have this allegation. She pretty much taught every one of her girlfriends either how to use, in the case of the 3 girls that have come forward, or in the case of other girlfriends who have not come forward with any allegations, exacerbated their abuse. She obviously, has given people drugs to the point where they have overdosed on many occasions. Kaylee, her previous girlfriend, was very upset because she saw a video of Anna kissing somebody, and it got her so upset to the point where she actually tried to end her own life through the use of. She ended up going to the hospital and staying in a psychiatric ward for observation. And when she was released home, Anna supplied her with more, the exact same thing that sent her there in the first place. She has blamed many of the other allegations she has brought forth against her on her drug use as well, but she has also stated many times that she is not actually an addict. She just only uses when she's with a girlfriend. But the thing is that Anna, she always has a girlfriend, so she always has an excuse to use. And if that girlfriend doesn't know how to use or doesn't currently, well, don't worry, she'll teach you. She's got that covered. So now there is one like blanket allegation that has like little tiny ones in it. So first I want to talk about the physical. This is some of the most alarming. Of course, there is the against Taylor, but then just recently with Kaylee, she actually did get physical with her. She flung her through the air, slammed her on the ground, pinned her down, leaving marks and bruises. There is footage of the mess that she's made. You can hear her throwing things around. It's very scary what Kaylee was going through. Like the videos that I've seen, and Kaylee is Kaylee is the fucking cutest thing on the planet, and I just want to wrap her in a little blanket burrito and put a little pillow under her. She's just so fucking cute. And the shit that Anna did to her, allegedly, is horrifying. She has threatened to assault people on a few occasions. She threatened to bash Sierra Watt's head in, and video footage of that, of her admitting to threatening rather, is in Taylor Lynn's video. I think, no, that might be in Natalia Taylor's video. In terms of verbal abuse, she, with every one of her exes, verbally abuses them through text message. Like even years after not dating Natalia, she has sent her text messages this year, telling her that her kidnapping story is fake and making fun of her and saying all this shit, spreading rumors that the man that is now Natalia's fiance, that Natalia wants to leave him and go back to Anna. Like, girl, honey, she doesn't want you. She's got him. They're engaged. Move on. And then she does the same thing to Taylor, to Kaylee. She spreads rumors through text messages, through fans, on videos, on Twitter. And she also talks about her exes to her other girlfriends to make them not like the exes. So they'll never be like inclined to go talk to the ex and see like what's going on or like, you know, like what happened between you. There's always got to be some sort of animosity for her to create there. Some of the most disturbing allegations are her interactions with her fans. Now, Anna's fans, I guess some of them are as young as 12 years old. Nobody should be watching Anna if you are under the age of at least 17, I think. And the other really insane thing is that Anna actually, there are group chats of her fans that Anna actually is in these group chats and engages with them. 2 of these group chats have fans anywhere from the age of 12 to at the oldest 18. The person who said they were the oldest started out in that group underage and turned 18 while they were in the group. In these, she would manipulate these girls into helping spread white harassment. As you heard with Taylor, she actually went into one of these group chats. I don't know if you remember that. She said she went into a group chat and told them to find this girl. And then Taylor received a Snapchat from one of these girls in this group chat telling her Anna Campbell's looking for you. That came from one of these group chats. She mobilizes these young impressionable fans to send hate to Natalia Taylor. While Natalia was getting help for her psychosis and her addiction, Anna had her fans harassing her online. And Natalia was in no frame of mind to engage on the internet to defend herself. That's the kind of mental health professional that Anna is, allegedly. A lot of her young subscribers say that they found her videos from the mental health videos or the LGBTQ videos. And those are videos that just really resonate with them because they are younger, they're more impressionable, and these are things that are starting to come to the forefront of their minds. So they're looking for some sort of guidance and they're getting it from Anna Campbell, which is not a good thing in my opinion. Because what's most alarming is when you get into these group chats, not only, I don't know, you guys, it's some of the most disgusting things. So in these group chats that she's having with her fans, she is making sexual jokes with them. She would give them tips on how to pleasure themselves. 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds are getting advice from a woman in her mid-20s on how to. She would talk about her sex life. She would also engage in private one-on-one text message conversations with people from this group chat. And oh yeah, she would also drop adult photos for the group's approval before she posted it somewhere. Once again, there are people as young as 12 years old in these group chats. And the names group. Now, one girl in this group chat, her name is Maddie. She has come forward also just recently. She actually uploaded a video the day after the We Are Survivors video. She was a fan of Anna Campbell. Anna was very fond of Maddie. She would refer to Maddie as her number one. She would tell Maddie, you're like my little sister, or she would call her her daughter. In my opinion, it was definitely She loved bombed Maddie all the time. Maddie cared desperately what Anna thought of her and wanted to stay in Anna's good graces. And Maddie even has a tattoo, not of Anna. I don't really know what the tattoo is, but she does have a tattoo for Anna. And she got that tattoo when she was 17. She would always highlight her, you know, kind of build her up that she was above all the other fans, all the other close fans in the group chat, because she loved these close fans. They were hers. The way she kind of talks to Maddie almost makes it feel like kind of cultish. Now, Maddie and Anna did meet on a couple occasions. There were some meetup at Playlist Live, I think. Some of these minors had hotel rooms that Anna would go into and hang out with these kids in hotel rooms alone. There was a instance where it appears that she kissed a minor, and there was actually another instance where she had a three-way kiss with Natalia and a minor, and Natalia has since said she is so disgusted by that. I'm not even sure if she remembers taking that photo photo, but she does accept full responsibility for that. However, she was in an extremely vulnerable state at that time, and she thought that she was in the loving care of her girlfriend, who was also a mental health professional who worked at a place that specialized in psychosis. I would feel safe and secure as well. About 10 months to a year ago, Anna did make a video responding to the allegations. I haven't watched that video yet, but I have watched quite a few videos. Trust me, there will be a few videos on this topic, and it is not because I am trying to milk this topic. It is because this story needs to be heard. The survivors of Anna Campbell, Natalia Taylor, Taylor Lynn Pendergraph, Kaylee Jade, Maddie, I don't know Maddie's last name, I'm sorry girl, and the countless others that have been victimized by her, these people need to be heard. Now, I mentioned a GoFundMe earlier in this video. This is a GoFundMe because Natalia Taylor, Taylor Lynn, and Kaylee Jade have all banded together and decided to take legal action. Initially, it was just Taylor Lynn, but as things progressed, they all joined together. So I am putting that down below. I encourage you guys, if you are able to please donate. This is a extremely important thing because there are probably a lot of victims, and I know I've seen them on Twitter who are not making videos because some of them are still minors. They were so young when they were engaging in disgusting chats and stuff with Anna Campbell that they're still kids. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I'm sorry if this video is kind of like discombobulated. This is just a really hard topic, and there's a lot of information to digest about this. And there is kind of, I think, like a mental block because it is very intense and there's a lot that encompasses into this story. And the more you dive into it, it just gets worse and worse. It's been a lot. So I want to take this series slow for my own mental health. I think honestly, like kind of dragging it out even more so it continues to stay fresh in people's minds. That's always a good thing because we don't want to let this story just die out like a lot of stories do. This is a serious story. These are serious allegations because remember, at this point, these are just allegations. This isn't fact. We want this kind of information to stay at the forefront so people can be held accountable. It is important to note as well that Anna did actually make an apology video about all of this. It was an hour and 8 minutes long. She's deleted it because, well, I guess she took her apology back. She took a couple things back. She said a lot of things in that video that, yeah, a lawyer took one look and was like, you should not have this on the internet. And if I was a lawyer, I would agree with that statement because I've seen that video. Anybody who has included clips from that video or anything like that have had privacy claims put on them, I think is what that is. But she had a video by Sloan taken down, and I think somebody else. Anna is coming out guns a-blazing as well. She has made a couple response videos. So once again, I'm sorry if this video is kind of discombobulated. It's not like my normal, like concise, well put together video because there was just a lot and I wasn't sure in what direction to go because there were so many directions and so many stories. I at least wanted to use this video as kind of like an introduction, just scratching the surface of what's really going on in the world of Anna Campbell. So with that, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watching. If you liked this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me, do you like it when I zoom out a little bit? What do you think? I was thinking about changing my background up a little bit too. I don't know. And remember, don't send anybody any negativity, any hate, nothing from this video. If you have a comment about something that we talked about, leave it down below. That's what the comments are there for. With that, I will see you guys later. Bye.